Hey, Barry Manning here. Welcome to the Garden Report. Miami, Florida. Josue Pavon to my left, and
Sir, huge
let's
win.
let's get into our forecasting skills here. You know I'm good at it.
Ahead. Let's do it.
I'm gonna test your ability to look ahead and say what's gonna happen the rest of the series here, because it's 1-1. It's early. Both these teams are still feeling each other out. Both had emphatic victories. Miami in Game 1, Boston in Game 2. We talked about it in our last video. Go check that out at Celtics All Access. The impact of Marcus Smart coming back, Al Horford coming back as well, and now Celtics have a blowout in hand. Always feels like it's a momentum shifter, but they did the same in Game 2 last series. Bucks bounced back and actually built a 3-2 lead in that series before the Celtics came back themselves. So wouldn't be stunned if we win for a similar series, but the difference now is the Celtics are fully healthy. Rob's back, looks like himself. Al Horford's out of COVID protocol, and of course Marcus Smart got injured late in that series and also missed Game 2 in that series as well with the quad contusion. Is good to go. So Celtics starters had only played 28 minutes for the playoffs entirely before that. They didn't look great to start this game, but the mix and the rotations and just Ime's ability to mix and match with all his players available. Derek White missing this one with his child getting born, so they're going to have to reintegrate him too. But this is all just to lead up to my general feeling coming out of this one, and maybe I'm getting ahead of myself again with this Heat team, but I just feel like the Celtics are better than them. I think they match up well. I think they have an edge on them with holding their offense stagnant, and I feel like the only way the Heat can really beat the Celtics is if the Celtics beat themselves, turn the ball over, and let them get on the break. And with their team fully intact, I don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah, I mean, look, right now, the way they just knocked out, metaphorically speaking, right? Knocked out the Heat with a huge punch here. It's a response that we've seen before, right? And that's exactly what you want to see from a team that's striving to win a championship. You know, that's the way you're supposed to respond. Now it's 4-0 after losses in the postseason. But the Miami Heat, they've lost games too in the postseason. This is the first time they lost it at home. So having that in mind, how are they going to respond? I think that's a big question mark looming over those two games in Boston. You know, how the Celtics responded, it's obviously a clear indication of the kind of team they are, their identity. But Miami Heat, they're a team that's been to the finals before. How are they going to respond after an L? And look, Bobby, to say this thing is over, all they have to do is just take one of those games. Here's the difference, though. All they have to do is take one of those games, and all of a sudden, you can tie the series up and go back to Miami with a chance to grab a 3-2 lead. That changes everything. Again, if they win one game in Boston, there's a good chance that this thing could go 7.
Yeah, and
you know, like that's just the way it is in the NBA. When you have home court, especially this team, they really like playing in this arena. And look, yeah, the Celtics did steal one here, but again,
they not only stole one.
If Miami steals one in Boston, man, all of a sudden this thing could go to the distance.
They not only stole one though, they smashed this team on their home court. They led by 34. They led from the end of the first on. It wasn't a game in the second half really, and they just looked dominant. It looked like the Heat didn't have an answer. They said that as such after. And Bam afterward rightfully says, you know, you can't carry that lead over the next game. It starts fresh in Game 3. But the Celtics haven't faced anything like this. They've had a few heartbreaking close losses where it went down to the wire and they blew it in the end. But have they gotten smashed in this postseason? It hasn't happened once. But they're capable of doing it to other teams. And I know it feels like tonight's a little bit of an anomaly, but when they had that starting 5 together, if we remember the end of the regular season there, they were doing this to teams all the time. And I think this is actually what they can look like with everybody intact.
Yeah, but you can't rely on 23-pointers again. You know, like
20 for 40 shooting.
Yeah, 50% from 3, well over 50, you know, from the floor. Like, again, that reminds me of one game that really stood out in that Bucks series, right? And it led to an overconfident team, in my opinion. And that's why they should have closed that series in Boston when they had a chance to. So for that to happen again, I mean, I'm not going to say that's ridiculous, that there's no chance that won't happen again. This team can make mistakes like that. Are they doomed to lose the series? No. I still think the Celtics, they're still my favorite to win this series. I just don't think that the Miami Heat are done winning games in this series. Maybe I'll stick to my same prediction in Celtics to 6, which has them winning one more game, and I'm still riding with that prediction. But to say it's completely done, or to say that you know the Miami Heat have 2 more blowout losses in this series, I'm not quite sure that's going to happen.
I'm not sure if it'll come in blowout fashion. I mean, the playoffs are the playoffs. They'll be close. There'll be adjustments. Eric Spoelstra's a phenomenal coach, but his cards in this one, the zone, flopped a little bit. Maybe it works better in future games. Duncan Robinson coming in didn't provide much. So I'll ask you, with PJ Tucker now facing a knee injury.
That's a big one, yeah.
And him going to an MRI tomorrow, and really thin production around the edges. Kyle Lowry still with a hamstring injury now. I guess you only see the Heat winning one more if you say Heat in 6, or Celtics in 6.
Right.
But I feel like it might be Celtics in 5. I feel like they might backdoor sweep this the way it's going for Miami here. But what do you think Miami could do to counter what Boston did tonight? I
think you have to free up, again, we talked about in the other video, Bam Adebayo, he's got to give you something.
I'm not. Think he has an answer?
I think he has an answer. I don't think we'll see 2020 Bam. I don't know if the bubble version of Bam from a couple of years ago will reemerge, but I do think he will put up way better numbers than 4 or 6 from the floor. With that being said, can you open up the offense for someone like Tyler Herro? You know, I still think he's the threat in this series. He didn't look really good in this performance, right, in the game 2. But, you know, for someone that can put the ball on the floor, come off the bench, give you instant offense, and let's face it, go off for 25, 30 points. Like, he's done that before.
Be a threat to pull up. During that run, he got the and one, the run where the Celtics really took the lead there, going around the screen, getting Brown to bump into him. That's the kind of stuff that he can do, but they got away from it.
Yeah, they did. But again, it's another weapon that the Celtics don't, like, they just didn't see a second unit like this. You know, the Milwaukee Bucks had a solid group of guys, but when it came down to it, you know, I just think the Miami Heat have a better second unit compared to any other bench that the Celtics team has seen.
Here's the thing, second unit, get him out there more. They wait too long to put him in. I know he's the sixth man of the year.
Exactly, you got the 6th man of the year riding on the bench, and I mean, I shouldn't say riding on the bench as if he's rotting, but
maybe start him.
I don't know if they'll do something that drastic, though. I just think they're just so disciplined in that way. It's like we beat ourselves, or we didn't punch harder. You know, that was the vibe I got from Spoelstra after this one. And that's not to say that he's overlooking this, but again, I just think it's him saying that I expected this, and we're not expecting them to shoot this way throughout the course of this entire series. So we'll bounce back. Well, again, it's going to be really interesting to see how they bounce back, because this is a team that's been to the NBA Finals. They won the East before. They think they have a legitimate chance to get back there, and right now, when it comes down to the way they're executing, they just have to make adjustments, and that's just a story of playoff basketball in the NBA.
Don't need to bounce back. Celtics have done a great job bouncing back. Now 4-0.
Yeah, let's see if they can keep it up
after losses.
Right.
So now that they're in pole position and feeling good about themselves and going home, how do they handle being in a good spot? We'll see.
But I'll tell you this much, though. I just want to get this out there. I don't know if we've been saying it, but I've been saying this since about March, when this middle of this turnaround. I said, man, this Celtics, this defense right now, this is a championship defense.
Yeah.
And I still believe in that. However, I shouldn't even say however, and after seeing this, the way they bounce back, and this is not the first time, right? Now 4-0 in the postseason, that's how a championship team bounces back. So they're showing the character traits of a championship team. Again, let's see if they can close it out, though. This is a big spot here for the Celtics to head back to Boston. You embarrass this team the way Jimmy Butler put it. Obviously, he's in his feelings right now. He can't wait to get back. Let's see if you can keep this thing going in Game 3.
Well, we're in agreement on that. Josue Pavon, Bobby Manning, live from Miami. Of course, go get Calm, calm.com/garden, 40% off a premium subscription. Sleep sounds, meditation, yoga, all the rest that's there for you. And you'll support CLNS and the Garden Report doing it. Great to use after games when you're trying to get to sleep and you're probably staring at your phone a little too much and keeping yourself up, talking to people, getting excited. You still need your sleep. Yeah. Go get it. HelloFresh.com/playoff16 to get your food. You're going to need your fixed dinner. Yes. Late games here, 8:30 starts. Set yourself up, give yourself some time before tip-off, and you won't need much with the prepackaged ingredients, instructions. It's all there, and 16 is going to get you through the series and then some.
They're at 9, Bobby. They're at 9 right now.
HelloFresh.com/playoff16, 16 free meals, 3 free gifts. Go check it out. Celtics All Access for continued coverage from Boston. We're headed back, and Celtics going to host the Heat in Game 3. On Saturday, 8:30 tip-off.
They play every other day, Bobby, so I'm with you, man. We lose track of this. We lose track of which game
we'll be there.
Sometimes.
We won't miss the flights. We'll be on time.
Yeah, we'll be there.
And we'll have your coverage here at CLNS Media and CLNSmedia.com.